edition of In the Kitchen with Joe just about upon us. This week might be one of the best we've seen.
I'm not kidding.
That was
Really?
written for.
I'm not kidding. I'm not kidding. The food at this restaurant left me wanting even more. Hold on to your hats, folks. Let's head to Grand Island. On this week's edition of In the Kitchen with Joe, my taste buds are in for a little fiesta as I check out Kiko's Cantina here in Grand Island. Watching the chefs cook at Kiko's Cantina, you'd think the restaurant had been open for years. Actually, they just finished their first week. The Garcias own several businesses along this stretch of 3rd Street, Kiko's Cantina being the most recent, helmed by Francisco and Vanessa.
I wanted to take the restaurant and separate it and add a bar and a patio with it. Whole new name, rebrand everything. That's just kind of what where the idea started.
So far, the community has come out in droves to check out the new place.
We've seen a lot of our customers from our other establishments come in and check it out. We've seen a lot of new faces. I think it's been great overall.
Serving up Mexican dishes for breakfast, lunch, and dinner, these recipes are authentic Mexican cuisine. That's because they're from places like Jalisco, the Garcias' hometown.
A lot of the recipes come from our own hometown, but we have a lot of different plates from different regions, from Mexico City, Oaxaca, Michoacan. We tied in a lot of different flavors together.
A big selling point is the atmosphere of Kiko's, full of beautiful, colorful paintings and furniture.
We brought most of our furniture and lighting from Mexico. We hired an artist out in Omaha to come and paint the murals.
I think people like how it just all ties in with the vibrant colors, and it just makes the place just stand out a lot.
So Francisco, Vanessa, what have y'all made for me here today?
Today we have the chicken fajitas, we got some beans, we got some homemade tortillas, some dessert, guacamole, a little bit of pico, and some margaritas.
Awesome. And so, Vanessa, tell me, what's in this fajita?
Chicken, bell pepper, onion, tomato, and some seasoning.
All right, I'm going to take a bite out of this. Trying it the new way. Francisco told me to try it this way. Never done this before, that's why it looks sloppy. And that's a good fajita. And there's a fun fact about the tortillas, Francisco.
Homemade, we make them homemade in the back. So we got a homemade recipe and somebody back there whipping them out. So.
And that's pretty cool. That's something you don't always see a lot of. And you mentioned the dessert. This is pretty good. I like bananas. So, what is this, Vanessa?
It's plátano flameado. It has a little bit of rum, condensed milk, and a couple of other ingredients, and a side of vanilla ice cream, and garnished with some seasonal fruit.
Awesome. And yeah, this is a good way to end your meal, folks. And this is probably some of the best Mexican food I've had here in Grand Island. So thank you guys again for allowing me to come here and highlight you guys. And you can find all this downtown Grand Island on 3rd Street. You're not going to want to miss it. That'll do it for another edition of In the Kitchen with Joe. That's right. If you want to check out Kiko's Cantina, you can find them at 101 West 3rd Street, and more information is on their Facebook page. And as always, if you have any restaurant recommendations for me, feel free to message me on Twitter, Facebook, or email desk@ksmblocal4.com. Yeah, that was really good Mexican food.
I'm like hungry now.
I know. I love fajitas. I went there a couple weeks ago almost now, and they have great food. And Fran, they do a great job. And he was, talking about just the murals that were painted, one by his brother, some that came in from Mexico. I mean, and yeah, just the amount of work that they have put in, a work of love that they've
The furniture being all handmade from Mexico was really what kind of sold it for me, because that was crazy.
The vibe in there is the best in Grand Island.
I have one question. How's the salsa?
Salsa was very good as well.
How do you
and
tell if it's a good Mexican restaurant?
The margaritas were good too, though those were virgin. I did go back and get the real thing on Saturday. So
Nice.
They do have good margaritas. I can attest to that as well.
I like this too.
All right. Well, speaking of